Today I'm going to talk to you a bit about preparedness and a flower garden that I'm trying to prep, or at least a flower bed. So yeah, preparedness is key, and I will show you why in a second. But basically this is why. If your fork does that, you can't get very far. These tulips that I planted, I'd had topped bed that was easy-ish, and yeah, then tried to plant these tulips and incredibly struggled. The tulips that end up being in, it took me all day to do, and by the end I just had such a strop on because it had taken so long and it was so difficult, because where I was trying to plant them was just rock upon rock upon rock upon rock, and we're not talking little rocks, I'm talking
Alicia's not getting to see that I've put this in before I make it public. Oh, sometimes it pays to be the editor.
So it took so long to get these tulips in, and that's not how you want to do it. We want to avoid tilling as much as we can. We don't want to be churning up the ground because that's not going to help anyone. It doesn't help the soil, it doesn't help the microorganisms in it. It's just not a great thing to do. But if you stick your fork in the ground and it does this, quite clearly you're not going to be able to plant anything in it. So the rest of this bed, where the flowers are supposed to go, I've had to proper dig over, and it has taken me basically 2 full days to get down to just a standard, fork's depth, so that these flowers and bulbs actually have a chance. Hopefully Jason will put in some photos here that I took that I stuck on Facebook, so if you follow us on Facebook, great. If you don't, come find it. I put up some random bits and pieces, not that frequently at the minute, but hopefully I get better, showing that when I was trying to dig this flower bed, it was basically me going mining. One particular spot that was definitely not as wide as 2 buckets, I got easily 2 buckets worth of rocks out. I expanded it to probably about 4 buckets and end up with 6 buckets of rocks. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my rock pile friend. It's pretty substantial in size, and this is some of the rocks I was pulling out. This is big and heavy, and I was not being particularly fussy either. So let me know down in the comments, is this going to be my new rock garden, my new house, my new driveway? Tell me what you think. Luckily, as I've gone further down the bed, it has got easier. I've ended up with 10 buckets of rocks out of this one bed in particular, which, yeah, I don't know where that was. I'm wondering, maybe was there another building near this bit that has been demolished and a load of rocks have just kind of been pushed over this bit? I don't know. It's been heavy going, but it just shows that at the end of the day, if you want to plant something somewhere, you can't necessarily guarantee you can do a no-till method. You can't guarantee that you're not going to have to dig it over. And you have to adapt sometimes to what it is that you're doing. So don't just start to go and think, right, today I'm going to plant these bulbs, because it may take at least 2 days worth of digging to get that bed prepped to be able to get the bulbs in. With that little preachy rant over, I'll go show you what it is I've been doing. This over here is the said flower bed that I was... Let my shower's going to be in the way. Over is the flower bed that I was talking about, and my pure dying abused tulips. Now they're coming to the end of their little flowering season. In here are my last 2 buckets that came out of this lot. Now this isn't exactly particularly wide or very deep, so what, maybe somewhere between 6 and 8 foot by probably 4 foot. So not massive by any means, but yeah, this bit where it looks like it's been tilled over, 10 buckets of rocks. Yeah. It's so bright today. It's absolutely lovely. It's roasting, but I cannot see this screen for love nor money. I've, as you've now seen, dug this bed over. I will eventually, once the tulips completely die back, end up re-digging where they are all across the back, because yeah, I literally did that with hand tools and it was just enough to get the bulb in the hole, and because it was getting late to plant them, so I just wanted to get them in so they could actually flower for the pollinators. Now that they're done, again, once they've died back completely, I will redig that area because that bit unfortunately is still full of rocks. So this job is not complete by any means, but one step closer to hopefully not having to do it again. This area will be topped with compost and more organic matter next year, hopefully when the compost pile has broken down that we're building this year, because unfortunately we don't have the funds to be buying in a lot of compost to be putting everywhere, so we are making do with what we can and just trying to establish what beds we can with what resources we have and see if we can grow anything, trying to judge what the soil is like from what grows basically and what we're going to need to do to improve it. So this bed will be dug over a bit more, but for now let's go grab these bulbs and do some planting in this space. This is what I bought the other day, all on sale. So we'll see what we've got going on. So ranunculus, don't know if you can see that, don't know if I said that right. Gladioli, mixed cactus dahlia, more cactus dahlia, pom-pom dahlia, more cactus, more pom-pom, more gladioli, some white gladioli, some single freesias, some more white gladioli, more freesias, more of this ranunculus, or however you say it, more of those, more pom-pom dahlia, and last one, more pom-pom. I've also got some alyssum seeds that I'm gonna sow all underneath this lot that will hopefully just kind of be a undercover. I'm hoping that the rest will be taller than this so that it just becomes a ground cover. I've got no particular plan or placement for where I'm going to put these. It was basically just going to be a bit of a mixed bed, just the start of what will hopefully be our cut flower garden. This placement is also hopefully going to be the edge of our driveway, so we'll end up with some nice flowers going across. But yeah, every single one of these flowers has been picked because they're generally single stem that can be put in bouquets. As well as obviously they will just look lovely. I'm going to get on and do some planting. That is that all planted. I have never planted a flower garden before. I am pretty certain I've probably never planted any of those flowers before. So no idea if I did that right. Probably too close together, but this bed is what I've got at the minute. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I wouldn't usually choose to water in at this time of day either because it's probably going to evaporate off. But those alyssum seeds were so tiny. They were, yeah, probably some of the smallest seeds I've ever planted, that I was wary that they might just kind of blow off, so I thought I'd best dampen them down in hopes of that they're going to stay there and hopefully germinate. Thanks very much for joining me today. Stick around if you hopefully get to see these flowers come up, and I'll see you soon.